got like all the pieces kind of put together like in the right spot. This is the part where I start making the skeletal system. And that's what this software Spriter Pro, that's what it's meant to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with about where the torso and the groin connected here. And I'm going to create this guy's spine like that. And then I'm going to attach his torso to it. Now everything is so the spine becomes like one of my center, basically the backbone of the whole creature. But the lower half I kind of want independent. So what I do is that all kind of stems off of the groin. So I make that, and then I'm going to attach the groin to that. All right, so now the rest of my pieces on the upper half are going to branch off of the backbone here. So I select the backbone. Next I'm going to create the guy's neck, which actually the neck is, if you look at it, he's got kind of a strange neck because these shoulder pieces are actually part of his neck. But so I'm going to create a piece for that, and then I'm going to attach the neck to that one, and then off of the neck is going to be the head, and I'm going to go that. I kind of go do like different directions just so I can like work with it, and not click on the wrong piece. So what happens now, if you notice, see now my head is attached to, this is, if you want to call it the head bone, you can see as I rotate this. But the nice part about this is, see, now watch what happens when I rotate the neck, because the head is off of the neck. So when I move the neck, you notice the head also moves too. And that's one of the benefits of this whole skeletal system. I move his backbone, and you see it moves the neck, the head, and everything else. So now the rest of the stuff, like the arms, are going to, I don't want those to be off the head, that's independent. So I'm going to create that off of the spine. So here's the bone for his upper arm, and attaches upper arm to that. And then off of the upper arm, we're going to have the lower arm, going to attach that. And then off of that, about where the wrist is, this is where the hand is going to be, and I attach that. So now here we are. I've got all of the Minotaur skeleton system, all of the different bone pieces set up, and you can see, if I move like a spine, you see everything on the top moves. If I move like his groin, then everything on the bottom moves. I can, detach these, but I tend to keep them together. So here's what we're going to do now. So my animations are basically 8 sequence frames, going from 0 to 7. And we're going to create a new animation here, and I'm just going to call this idle. Idle is like when they're just standing there, it's not their turn, when everybody else is doing their stuff. Right now, this wouldn't be very exciting with this guy just standing here, not moving around. So usually what I do is we don't have to do all 8 animations, because one of the benefits of this Spriter Pro is it will actually fill in the spaces in between. So I really just need my base animation here. And then if I come over to here to say frame 4, and I'm just going to move this a little bit. So I move his spine up a little bit. I'm going to move his upper arm up a little bit and move his inner arm or his lower arm in a little. I'm going to move this one up, and I'm going to move this over. So now what happens, you can see if I play this, see, now we've got, animation. So even though I only had the one frame here, and then I did a slight modification in the middle, this cycles through everything kind of back and forth. Now I do have a lot of different things that are built into my own system. I can loop things in a particular way. I can do what are called ping pong effects, where it'll go through frames 0 through 7, and then it'll actually go backwards, through 0 through 7. So that comes in handy for a lot of attacks and things like that. But basically, so you can see this is the way that we animate everything for the game. And I'm going to set up, for any given creature, there's going to be a ton of different animations. This is, again, this is the idle, and I usually will set up like a variant of the idle so they don't always look the same, when they're idling. I'll have like, two different types of idles. I'll have a walk animation, I'll have a run animation. There are different animations for different attacks, the special attacks that monsters have, the normal attacks. Let's say if this guy had a weapon, let's say he's got a hammer, I would put in some sort of animation where he swings it over his head, and brings it down on the opponent, things like that. I have to take a lot of things into account, flipping what direction that they're facing in the game. And my game, my system, handles a lot of that behind the scenes. But so this is basically how I get a monster into the game. So you've seen the whole process from getting the original image, cutting up the pieces, editing them, and then finally putting it all together in this. And then I can port all of this over to the game. And then in the game, you have a Minotaur who can, do all these different little animations. And so here you can see the end product. There's the Minotaur in the game. You can see he's using like his idle animation. Of course, he's holding a weapon too. So I hope you enjoyed seeing how I put monsters in the game. It's definitely a very integral part of the entire game. It's a long process, but it's probably one of the funnest parts about designing the game is working on all the monsters and everything. So until next time, thanks. Bye.